Hi, we are with Caitlin Shepherd with A Wish for a Lifetime. Initially, I learned about A Wish for a Lifetime because we invited Caitlin to speak to our Hospice Veteran Partnership Group. And that's when I learned how much broader her services are. So, this is an incredible service for anybody 55 and up. I might have gotten that wrong. Maybe it's even 50 and up or 60 and up, but she'll correct me. Um, and especially valuable, I believe, for patients that we might be walking alongside of, and maybe even for somebody on the screen today. So, Caitlin, will you share a little bit about yourself and the organization?
Yes, thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to chat with you all about Wish of a Lifetime. My name is Caitlin Shepherd. I am based in Denver and have been with Wish of a Lifetime for over 4 years. I'm going to share more about our wish granting program today and some other ways you can get involved with the organization, as well as a couple videos, because I think our wish recipients do a much better job of sharing our mission than hearing me talk the whole time. But if you all have any questions or want to raise your hand, we're a small group, so don't feel like you have to keep all of your questions until the end. I'll also try to keep an eye on the chat as well if you have questions as we go through. But Wish of a Lifetime, our mission is to spark hope and joy in the hearts of older adults. And we do this by fulfilling their dreams through personalized experiences that promote healthy and purposeful aging. And then we want to share those stories to inspire those of all generations. Now, Wish of a Lifetime from AARP, we're the largest older adult wish granting organization, and we're an official charitable affiliate of AARP. And I'd love to share a little bit more about our history because it definitely has ties to Colorado and to Boulder and with all of the work that we do. So Wish of a Lifetime was founded in 2008 by our founder, Jeremy Bloom, who was a CU Buffs football player as well as a two-time Olympian in skiing. And he wanted to create an organization that really honored and celebrated older adults for their sacrifices and accomplishments. And so he created Wish of a Lifetime in his grandmother's name. It initially was his grandmother's foundation, and it then turned into Wish of a Lifetime. So our first wish we granted was in 2008 for a woman named Nancy, who traveled to Arizona to visit her daughter who was battling cancer. By 2011, we had grown beyond just Jeremy and an intern, and we were granting wishes for people across the United States. In 2012, we launched an additional program outside of our wish granting, which is called Cupid Crew, where we deliver roses to seniors on Valentine's Day. That first year, we did about 1,400 roses across the Denver metro area. And this last year, we just did 240,000 roses across the United States. In 2015, we granted our 1,000th wish for George and Carl. They were segregation era football rivals. And George and Carl played football together against each other in high school. And Carl was the only one to go up and actually shake George's hand at the end of the game, and they wanted to reunite. Then in 2020, we affiliated with AARP, which has really allowed us to expand our network across the United States, as well as our volunteer engagements that we're able to do. In 2023, we granted our 2,500th wish, and this year we are going to be celebrating our 3,000th wish granted. Now, I'm going to share just this quick little video to give you an idea of some of the wishes that we have granted, but I want to make sure that I shared my sound, and I think it's good. So let me know if you can't hear this.
Change us. We are wish storytellers.
Sorry, just a moment.
We inspire people.
We did have the sound, just to let you know, want to make sure.
Perfect. Sometimes when you share these videos through YouTube, they start at the last place I shared it from.
Stories are power. They affect us, inspire us, and change us. We are Wish storytellers. We inspire people to live more vibrant and purposeful lives. We grant wishes that celebrate older adults for their wisdom, contributions, and sacrifices.
If you believe in something and you stay at it, you'll finally get the recognition you deserve.
It's important for people to feel empowered to tell their stories because it's a form of immortality.
We reconnect people with their passions, their dreams, and the people they love.
Seeing him interact with the horses was a dream come true.
Take off. It's not just a pipe dream anymore. It's electric.
When we grant a wish, it has an extraordinary effect on that person and their community, and it helps them dream bigger than ever before.
Hello, I'm not Johnny Cash.
Wish of a lifetime made his wish come true.
We are Wish of a Lifetime from AARP, and we're changing what's possible as we age, one inspirational wish at a time.
So we like to put the wishes we grant into 4 different categories. We are granting experiential wishes. We do not cover medical expenses or refurbishments of homes. We really want it to be an experience that someone is going to partake in. And so we like to put them into these 4 categories. And that first one is connecting loved ones. And this was the number one wish that we were receiving, especially after the COVID pandemic, was that people just wanted to be with those that they loved, whether that be a lifelong friend who lived across the country, meeting a great grandchild for the first time. We just had a wish that was reuniting a father with his daughter that he hadn't seen since she was 2 years old, because her mother took her away from him without his ability to see her. We had 3 sisters that were all centenarians at 103, 105, and 110 years old, and they all wanted to be together one last time. So we flew 2 of the sisters actually to the youngest. The youngest one wasn't able to travel, but the older ones were, for them to have that time together. Our second category is fulfilling lifelong dreams. And these are those dreams that individuals have had for 10, 30, 50 years, those things that they've always wanted to do, whether that be going to their first Bronco football game, throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game, going up in a hot air balloon, whatever that dream is that they've always wanted to do. Our third is renewing and celebrating passions, and this is one of my favorites because it really focuses on the person's hobbies and interests. This could be taking a painting class, recording a song in a Nashville studio. Maybe it is going fly fishing again. So really connecting back to something that individual did for a long time, and maybe life got in the way or something happened where they haven't been able to enjoy it recently. And then our last category is commemorating service. And this is the way that we can honor and celebrate individuals for their sacrifice and what they've given back to their community and their country. That includes our veterans as well as lifelong volunteers that are teachers that want to reconnect with that past. So what are the guidelines for qualification? So the minimum age for our program is 65 and older. As I mentioned, we've granted up to 110 years old for our wish recipients. And the individual needs to be within the United States or its territories and be unable to fulfill that wish on their own and that capability of experiencing that wish. So depending on the wish, we might ask for approval from a doctor if necessary. We have a lot of I don't know what the right word is, but like excited wish recipients that want to jump out of airplanes or go on zero gravity flights. And we just want to make sure that their doctor says that's okay to be able to experience some of the wishes that they have. So here is how our process works. So We first start with our qualification process and submitting of the application. The majority of the wishes we receive come from nominators, someone that wants to nominate someone in their life to be a part of this program. We do have wish recipients that will nominate themselves, and that is completely okay as well. If they know what their wish is and they want to try for this opportunity, they can also submit an application on our website. Our applications are open every day of the year. There's no window to submit an application for people to apply. Once we receive that application, and we'll check to see if it meets those minimum requirements. So is the person 65 and older? And is it an experience? Or are they asking, for us to buy them a new car or to pay off their debt? Those types of wishes wouldn't make it on to the next level of our process. So once we get past that, those wishes are assigned to one of our staff members. We have 12 Wish of a Lifetime staff members that are dedicated to our wish granting process, and they talk to every wish recipient that comes through in the vetting process. This is a time for them to get to know the individual more and really understand the impact that this wish is going to have on their life. Once they've spoken with the potential wish recipient and their nominator, they create what we call a validation report and submit that to our third-party committee, which is our validation committee. Our validation committee is a volunteer committee. They review every wish that we have coming through, understanding the impact for that individual, the resources that would be needed to grant it, and what that would look like, and they approve or deny the wish. Once approved, it goes into our execution phase where we work with the wish recipient to find the best time to schedule their wish. They schedule all of the logistics. Wish of a Lifetime covers all the costs associated with the wish, whether that be flights, food, rental cars, hotels. Maybe they need special clothing or materials to participate in their wish. And then we schedule the wish, and the wish is granted. I'd love to pause here just to see if there's any questions about the process of wish granting, the application, or the types of wishes that we grant.
I'm kind of curious how you become a volunteer and get to be on that team. And
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'll have a little
training
more
is
details
involved.
about that. Yes. I'll have some more information about different ways you can get involved and volunteer. All right, well, keep thinking about your questions. If you think of something as we go along, feel free to put them in the chat as well. But I did want to share another video with you before I move on to our volunteer opportunities and a little deeper dive into our Cupid Crew program. But this is one of my favorite wishes that we granted probably about 3 years ago now for a man named Benny. And it's just a beautiful example that not every wish has to be jumping out of airplanes or meeting a president. Sometimes the most simple wish can have the biggest impact. And I just love this wish of Benny, and you'll get to meet his sister, Vivian, as well.
Good morning. Good morning, Benny. You feeling pretty good this morning? What you ready to eat? What about some toast? Yeah, and what you gonna drink with it? Coca-Cola. All right, we finna get ready to get started. Ever since 1999, I've been helping and take care of my brother and sister. As long as I'm on this earth, I want them to be taken care of. It's not easy, but I really believe that it was in God's plan and His will for me to do this. It's a responsibility, but it's an honor. I really believe the best way to fulfill our purpose is serving others. my responsibility to make sure they're well taken care of. So what you want to build today? You gonna build a house today? Yeah, that is nice. I just want to make sure that everything he's involved in is making him happy. That's a big house, JJ. That's a big house, baby. I want to treat him the way I would want to be treated. I love you, baby. Benny and my father was like two peas in a pod. Ever since he introduced Benny to horses, Benny have been in love with horses. He see a horse, he just light up like a child at Christmas time. Oh, we getting closer, JJ. Let me see some horses, JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, ooh. Horsey, JJ. Thank you. Ooh, he is big and pretty.
Oh.
You like him, JJ?
You're a horse.
Seeing him interact with the horses was a dream come true. We all like certain things, but what's really rewarding is when you're helping somebody else fulfill their dream. He was on that wagon like a king. You are driving it, baby. You are doing so good. That is so beautiful. You did good. Benny, we got one more surprise. You ready for the beach? Yeah, you want to go to the beach? Oh, that's beautiful. You feel that good breeze? Ooh. When we lost our parents, it was hard for the whole family. Right after our parents passed, we was able to go on a trip to Myrtle Beach, and they saw all that water. Ever since, I've been longing to see that memory again. When that day came, I said, Dad, as long as I'm living, Joanne and Betty will be taken care of. I can truly, truly say that I have kept my promise. I have kept it with all I got. We made it to the beach, JJ. We made it one more time.
Just love that video because I think it does such a good job of showing the impact of a wish, not only on the wish recipient, but also their loved ones and the community around them. Now, a little bit more about our Cupid Crew program. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Let me open it up.
Is the application process local separate, or does it have to go through vetting in the AARP machine?
That is a great question. So the application process, because you're in Colorado, is local because our headquarters is in Denver. So everything that Wish of a Lifetime does, it goes through our Wish of a Lifetime office. We're an office of about 25 people in downtown Denver. All of our wish granting team works out of Denver. So any application that comes through our website is going to come right to this team here in Denver. What's nice about our affiliation with AARP is that we still have our own nonprofit status and our own board. So we kind of have the support from AARP with some of the things that are nice to have, but also still have that nice feeling of being a small nonprofit. All right, thanks for the question. So a little bit more about Cupid Crew. I know I mentioned it earlier. But this is going to be, I believe next year will be our 13th year doing Cupid Crew. This is where we deliver roses and handmade cards to seniors on Valentine's Day. This is one of our biggest volunteer programs that we run. We have thousands of activations that happen across the United States, with volunteers leading those events. Volunteers can request a certain amount of roses to receive for free to give out in their community. So this might be a great opportunity for you all to do with the older adults that you're working with, is to order a certain number of roses. They'll be shipped directly to where you would like them to be shipped to, and then you get to deliver them to seniors on Valentine's Day in your area. Other ways to get involved. Oh, go ahead.
I love that idea. I didn't realize that you had a Cupid, so that only is on Valentine's Day. So you have to get your
Yes.
kind of order in
Only
far
on
ahead of time.
Yep, only on Valentine's Day. And we start sending out the registration link in the fall. So about October is when we'll send out that registration link, and people can start submitting their requests for roses. And then you'll find out if your crew was selected in mid-November. So then you have a few months to finalize your plans, but good to start thinking about if there's a certain amount of roses. They start at 100 roses. So even if you say, oh, well, you only have 50 people that we would want to take them to, we always say the more roses, the better. Minimum of 100 roses. You can always give people 2 or give them to staff as well, which we always appreciate. But it starts at a minimum of 100 roses.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Then we have other groups like Meals on Wheels that, ask for 1,000 or more. So we have a wide variety of groups and the amount of roses they're delivering. Some other ways to get involved, I would say the first one is to nominate someone in your life or that that would be receiving a wish. We're always looking for incredible wish recipients to grant these wishes to. But we need help spreading the word about our program still. We're still a good, best kept secret. And we want to receive the best applications and really honor and celebrate as many older adults as possible. Another way to get involved is in the granting of a wish. We're looking for volunteers who want to be a part of special send-offs, or maybe attending a baseball game with a wish recipient, giving them a tour around Boulder. We had a wish recipient last year that just wanted to go to Boulder, and we had a local volunteer that gave her a tour around the community. So we're always getting a wide variety of wishes, and each one is unique in what we need volunteer support with. So we like to have a good network of people who may be interested in supporting in those wishes. We also have opportunities for community events. I have some great volunteers who go out and give presentations or help me at tabling events. I'm going to be at the Botanic Gardens next Wednesday for an event sharing about Wish of a Lifetime. So those are the individuals that kind of want to dive deeper and keep spreading our mission. And then we have our postcard program, which is a great virtual option. We meet virtually every other month to write postcards to our past wish recipients. So if you enjoy crafting or painting or creating cards, handwritten cards, this is a great opportunity that you can join when fits for your schedule. Well, that is all I have for you all today, but I would love to spend some more time if people have more questions or want to know anything more.
Susan has
How many
Yeah, Caitlin,
how many
I was wondering
wishes are granted?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. How many wishes are granted yearly?
We have around 300 wishes granted a year.
I see.
Go ahead, Susan, or was that the same question?
Oh, no. So I was wondering what you write on the postcards to the past recipients.
Yeah, so it really is it varies. So we'll have our next postcard program here in a couple weeks. And we share photos. I share their wish experience. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's just photos and sharing their story of where they were, why this wish came to be, and a little bit of their background. So a lot of the cards are really personalized to each volunteer. So we might have volunteers writing to someone who went to a baseball game for a wish. So I'll see them saying like, "Oh, I'm so happy that your wish was granted. Like I see you're a, a Yankees fan. Like I'm a Cubs fan. Very just like commenting on what they've learned about the individual through reading their story. So they get to know a lot of great information, things that they might have in common. These volunteers have such a great variety of things. I have other volunteers that will paint pictures of them like at the baseball field, or we like paste different collages and things for them. But it's just a way to say, I loved hearing your story. Here's what we had in common, or what really stood out to me about who you are as a person, and happy to see that you had this opportunity to have this wish granted.
Janet left a message. Janet, are you there? Do you want to read your message or do you want me to? Maybe I'm going to read it then. Oh,
I was just sending it to Caitlin. I just think it's remarkable. I'm jazzed.
That is so good to hear. And I that's why I like to say we're still the best kept secret. And I love to meet new people that have never heard of us and get excited. And who could I nominate to be a part of this, or how to get involved. And I'm going to put my email right now in the chat. So if anyone wants to send me an email directly, I can get you signed up for, our monthly newsletter if you're wanting to know more, or if you do find someone in your life that you're like, I wonder if this is a wish, or would this qualify if I send in the application? Like those are questions for me that you can always reach out and we can brainstorm and talk through. I know that's really helpful to a lot of people. They don't want to submit something if they're like, I don't know if does this even like qualify to begin the process, and what would that look like?
do you have any suggestions on kind of a strainer question? What are a couple things if I thought this person might be a good fit? What might be some questions or things I should consider? And in our context, a lot of the people that our volunteers are walking alongside of are people facing illness. I heard you say that you do have a doctor that would say, yes, this is okay. If they were going to jump out of a plane, you'd want to make sure that was fine or not. I mean, if I'm on hospice, I might jump out of a plane and not even worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wonder if there's certain questions that we should ask ourselves as we consider if someone would be appropriate or make a suggestion.
Some of the questions that I like to ask, because it is true that you'll ask, what's your wish of a lifetime? They're like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never thought of that before. But I like to say, like, is there someone you haven't seen in a long time that you wish you could see? And sometimes that could be someone who's living and someone who's not. I hear that a lot, but there could be, a family member that they haven't seen. If someone is a veteran or has had an interesting service, learning more about that. And is there some way that they would maybe want to be honored? Learning about their passions and hobbies. If you see in their room that they're like have Broncos everywhere and they're always watching the Broncos game. Well, have you ever been to a Broncos game? Just kind of, I know you all being volunteers, you're probably getting to know these people really well. So in those just day-to-day conversations, just keeping wish of a lifetime in the back of your mind, that as they might, I wish I could do that again. Like, well, I know an organization that maybe could help with that. Also, as we work with, individuals who are facing terminal illness or are on hospice, please let us know that, let me know that when you're submitting application, because we can streamline that process a little faster if we know that someone is needing that to happen. Or let's say there's someone who wants to go to a family reunion and you just found out about us and it's in August, letting us know that so that we can make sure we move them to the top of our vetting list so we can move them through our process.
That's really helpful to know that you can move, you can expedite the process that who, if you
Yes,
submit a
yes.
wish, there's a way to let you know that this is for a hospice patient or something.
Yes, yep. And like in our database, it's like hospice, and then it says the name of their wish. So our team keeps a good eye on that to move those along. And we know, we have I know Sue put in the chat, like how far reaching is this? Just local mostly. We do wishes nationwide, so with wish recipients who live in all 50 states. And this could be a local wish, or it could be that someone wants to go somewhere. We've had even hospice patients who have traveled out of state, and our team knows how to work with hospices in other states because you have to transfer a lot of things, and sometimes it can get a little complicated when you're on hospice and you're traveling and keeping that continuum of care. So we have experience in that as well. So it's a mixture of within the United States, locally in their own community where they're not having to fly anywhere. We can fly family members to the person if they're no longer able to travel, so we can bring people to them. We also do about 8 international wishes a year.
Oh, wow.
So we do some international wishes, but it's a much higher threshold to get approved, and we don't do as many of those.
Susan?
Yes, Susan.
Yeah, I was wondering what kind of things you do for veterans.
Yes, we do a lot of different things for veterans. We have many veterans who, they want to go to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials. We do veterans trips as well with groups of veterans. We just finished one for 16 Vietnam era veterans to go to Washington, D.C. We've had individuals who want to go up in the airplane that they flew in or back on a submarine. Maybe it's a different memorial in a different state that they'd like to view. We've sent veterans back to Normandy, to Pearl Harbor. But then we have other veterans who I don't want to do anything with my service. I just want to meet Peyton Manning, or I just want to do this, ride in a race car, go back on the horses again. So we have a mixture that really want their wish to be connected to their service, and then others that they are a veteran, but they want to do something else.
I just think it's such a amazing offer. As Janet said, it makes my head go, okay, who might be appropriate? And Janet, I think you even said, or what do I want? It makes you think, just no matter what our ages are, what is a wish that we have? What is something that I hope I could do? And I think it's just good for us to encourage, as one of the volunteer coordinators, just to encourage our volunteers to have their antennas up and to ask those questions or pay attention to. I appreciated what you said. Is there a place you'd like to go? Is there a person you'd like to see? And just listening for those wishes that haven't come into fruition yet. My family is loud in the back.
I would say too, take a look at our application on the website. It's not very long. You can download it to look at it, and you can kind of see some of the questions on there. And hopefully those questions would help someone think about what a wish could be, what that impact might look like for them to have that opportunity, and that might be helpful as well. And I know Susan just asked, how do you figure out if the person can pay or not? So we don't ask any financial questions on our application. We believe that if someone has a wish and there might be a reason that as long as they're unable to do it on their own, and sometimes that's financially, sometimes that's logistically, sometimes they need that medical support to make that possible. So we're able to kind of feel through that vetting process. We've had times where we start the vetting process and we're talking with a son or daughter saying, your dad applied for this wish and wants to do, go on this road trip to Albuquerque. And then they say, oh, well, we'll just take him. Like we didn't know he wanted to do that. We'll do that, which is wonderful. And we're like, that's great. So glad that's going to happen. Or you're talking to someone who wants to go to a Broncos game and they've had season tickets for the last 50 years and want to go. And you're like, well, you've already had tickets. So our team does a really good job through the conversations that you can kind of get a good feel of, is this something that they would just do on their own and don't really need wish of a lifetime? Or is this something that they do need that extra support? So I also know I used to work in aging services. Even if someone does have maybe money in savings, it's going to their care and their, senior living is very expensive to live in. So I understand too if people say, well, I do have money, but I don't spend it on myself in those ways as well. Yes, where do we get our funding for this? So we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So we have individual donors, sponsorships, in-kind donations to help us be able to grant as many wishes as possible.
All right. Well, oh, I am unmuted. Okay. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for all your time. I'll be sharing this widely. We'll put it on we have a dashboard for staff and we have a volunteer newsletter for volunteers. And I really hope that you get some requests from people connected to TRU Community Care because I want to be part of telling people the secret. It's just such a lovely, it just feels so good when so many things right now feel so hard.
Yeah.
So,
And if you do submit an application, please put, it says like, how did you hear about us? Or, where did you hear about the program? Please put somehow that you're a volunteer here or you're connected to TRU, because if the wish is approved and it's getting scheduled, we love to be able to schedule send-offs and celebrate the person and bring all of you to be a part of that community when you're nominating these individuals. So letting us know that through the application process is really great. I'm also going to just put in the chat our website, but also some of our wish stories. So if you want to just read about some other, sometimes I just need like a little inspiration or like feel good. So sometimes I'll just go read one of these stories here, but it also helps you get a good idea of things that we've done in the past and more ideas of like, oh, what could a wish be? And the first one on there right now is for Billy, who I mentioned, who saw his daughter for the first time in 25 years.
my goodness.
And I read that one this morning. It was really touching. And then actually the next one is for a woman named Jan who went to Rocky Mountain National Park a year or so ago. And we've had a few other, well, they're all great.
She
Hard to
did
choose.
something with a motorcycle. Sienna was saying she helped fulfill a wish with a motorcycle.
Oh, it was a race car. Yes, Bobby's wish is on there. Bobby's from Littleton, and she went down to Fountain, Colorado, and drove a race car at 80 something years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's got great energy. Check out Bobby as well. She's got a nice video where she's a great lady.
Well, thanks for putting that in the chat. And if you could email me the PowerPoint if you're okay with that, and then those links as well, then I can send out the recording of this presentation to everybody and include the PowerPoint and those links too. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the theater. Enjoy the show.